This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. I'm delighted today to be joined with the great white, Mr. David Light. How are we doing, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, delighted. Everyone says that they're delighted to be talking to me. I was like, it's because my name is D Light,
Yeah.
so I wonder if this is a play on words or.
No, mate, to be fair, mate,
But the
it's clearly
UK
you,
does,
mate.
is that just a man? Like, is that a UK thing? You say delighted a lot.
I think if you watch most interviews, most people probably say delighted because
Ah,
always
okay.
appreciate the time, mate. Always appreciate the time.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
We just said you're in the UK. And it's a cliche question, but it's a massive, massive fight for you. How's sort of camp been for you? How have you been spending it?
Yeah, I mean, I just got here a few days ago, but did all my camp in New Zealand. And it's good. Like we've got some big, tall guys there, big, tall, strong guys there. So it's been a good camp. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you enjoying Manchester? It's is the weather all right up there?
It's pretty dark, man, but it's all right. It's something completely different to what I'm used to, so I'm enjoying it.
That's it. I'm from down south, so it's a little bit better there. I won't say it too bad
Yeah,
though for
yeah, yeah.
JJ.
Yo, I saw a
Yeah,
little bit of blue sky today, so it's all right.
absolutely. Yeah. How's camp been for you? This is obviously a massive fight for you for fighting for a world title. It is something that everybody dreams of. Would you say this camp's been different to sort of other ones? Is the level in competition has stepped up, or is this just its usual work and its usual business? Don't matter if it's a world title or not. I'm still going to graft as I would for anything.
I feel like I've been able to put in a little bit extra into this one, like knowing what I'm up against and knowing what the occasion is. So I feel like I'm the fittest I've ever been, a whole level above where I was even in my last fight. So yeah, it's I know the opportunity I have, and I'm doing everything I can to make it so I can get past that line.
Absolutely. Do you feel like it's a little bit more for a lot of these camps, like it's more mental stuff, like mentally rather than physically training? Like mentally, you've got to prepare yourself for a world title fight as opposed to, just the physical training.
Yeah, well, even physical fitness is training your mind, because you got to you got to get to a place where you're so uncomfortable, but your mind is the one pushing you forward. So yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So, fighting Lawrence Okolie, having it on away turf now, coming to the UK as we just discussed there. I know I spoke to you about the mental factors. Coming over to the UK and fighting a guy in his own backyard, how do you deal with that mentally and that pressure that comes with it?
Well, like I'm from New Zealand, man, so it's just like it's part for the course. Like my last 3, 4 fights have all been overseas, and I was underdogs on that one, and it's just something you got to get used to. I feel like I am used to it, so it's something I'm kind of comfortable with.
How do you find it fighting overseas? Sort of traveling away, and I've seen you fight in America a lot, and you're obviously in the UK, you're making a
Yeah,
UK debut this time. How does that oppose to sort of fighting in New Zealand? Would you say? Do you think it's much different?
yeah, it is a bit different, but I don't know, like when you got your home people around, I guess you feel a bit of pressure. I like being the underdog. I like proving people wrong. That's what we feel. That's where I feel comfortable. So this is actually what I prefer.
So, yeah, that's fair enough, mate. It's fair enough. Fighting against Lawrence Okolie, many consider him to be, out of all the champions, probably the best cruiserweight out of all of them. They're all great in their own respect, but a lot of people would consider him the number one. Does that feel extra special? That obviously everyone wants to fight for a world title, but you're testing yourself against probably one of the best. How important is that for you, and how do you feel that is extra special for it?
Yeah, I feel like the cruiserweights, they're all pretty good at this level. Gulamarin or like Jai Opetaia and stuff. They're all really good boxers. So people have their opinions on who's the best boxer. I don't know if you've just been speaking to people in the UK or what, but
Sorry, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I didn't want to disrespect Opetaia or anyone from from your way. Sorry, mate.
But yeah, no, he's a champion, and I'll take my shot against any one of them. But this is the WBO has been the road, and this is the one. This is the shot I get, so this is the one I'm taking.
How important do you feel like it is though? You said that the best need to fight the best, and cruiserweights. It's not always happened. Unifications haven't happened for one reason or another.
Hmm.
How important do you feel like it's for you? Like cruiserweights that everyone is fighting the best. You're testing yourself against a Coley. You're taking these risks. How important is that? Would you say in a pro's career where you see that people might not always do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Maybe it's just because they feel they can make more money, like bringing in other people and having home shows, or maybe they can't agree on all that stuff. But I got into this. I got into pro boxing because I wanted to do. I like fighting, and I love fighting. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, and we're not gonna just sit around forever trying to twiddling our thumbs, trying to work out what's the best and easiest way. Like we're going 100%, and so that's why we're taking this fight and taking our shot.
Absolutely. You say that you thrive off being the underdog and that. Do you sort of envisage yourself, beating Okolie, shocking the crowd? Do you ever envision those things? Like, do you thrive off that sort of stuff that you'll silence
Oh,
the UK
absolutely,
crowd?
man. Like, yeah, that's all. That's why I'm here. I'm not
Yeah.
here for any other reason than to do exactly that.
Absolutely, absolutely. With someone like Lawrence Okolie, he's changed his promoter, he's changed his manager, and he's changed, his trainer for this fight. Um, how much do you feel like that will have an effect? And do you feel like have a positive effect onto you, like for all these changes that he's making?
Um, it's just something I don't really think about. Like I'm expecting the same guy that has come to the other fights. I'm not really expecting anything different. I'm not like building up anything in my mind about how different he's going to be or whatever. I think I expect him to bring his best, and I'm going to bring my best. And I think that we can get across that line no matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, you mentioned him earlier, and I said if you do claim this WBO belt, someone that's also got an IBF belt is Jai Opetaia. I wasn't trying to disrespect him by saying about Okolie, but
Oh,
you
no,
being from New
no.
Zealand, him,
Okay.
you being from New Zealand, him being from Australia, there's a potential for a huge unification back down your way. How special do you feel like that fight could potentially be?
Yeah, that would be awesome, and it would be awesome to have like a super fight, kind of like for that part of the world, especially if it was in like my backyard or something. But that's just not something that I'm really thinking about. My mind's on one thing at the moment. But if that ever did come about, yeah, it would be incredible. That'd be
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be loving it.
Absolutely, mate. And just to sort of finish it off this interview, we are talking about Opetaia there. And obviously, you got yourself fighting for a world title. Um, Recently, the past few years, there's been such a rise in combat sports in Australia and New Zealand. Not even, like obviously this weekend we had Tim Tszyu knocking out Tony Harrison, who's going to be fighting Jamal Charlo, but not only in boxing, but in the UFC as well. They just had the UFC show in Australia in February. You've got so many great fighters. What would you attribute that down to? What could you say like that rise has been because of, and being a part of that rise, how special is that for you?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. Like we've always had the talent down that side of the world. We've just not really had the professional attitude that has been in America and the UK. And now that that's coming in, we've got these guys who are earning their shot, but they're also being able to prepare properly for it, not just being called over on a week's notice or something and from down under and getting blown out of the water. That's why I'm saying the rise in professionalism in Australia and New Zealand is what's really led us to get success. And yeah, I'm hoping I can be part of that.
Absolutely. Do you feel like it's an exposure thing though? Like we just need to see, more guys from Australia and New Zealand being exposed to, the great talents where they can, when you guys are as good as, people in America and people in the UK, you guys are
Yeah.
as good as that and having that exposure, that's just what they need.
Yeah, and like I could have taken this fight a few years ago, and on week's notice, like, and I wasn't going to win obviously because I wasn't prepared at all for it, but we went through the proper route and we got the mandatory challenge, and now I've prepared properly for this, and so that's how we do it.
Absolutely. Well, David, just to sort of finish this off this interview, if UK fans don't know already, what are you coming to do on next week?
I'm coming to get that belt, man. Whatever way I can get it, I'm going to do it.
Top man,
You get
David,
what
honest.
each round as it comes, but 100%, that's what I'm coming for. I'm coming to win, definitely.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course,
Yeah.
David. Thank you for your time, mate. I really appreciate you taking
Yeah.
the time to speak to me today. It means a lot, mate.
Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you.